Kia ora guys! Well, it's been a while since I've done a heart related video and I thought it is about time I did another one. So I thought this time round I would go through what happens during a general cardiology appointment. Now, I have been relatively lucky recently, touch wood, in that I haven't had to go to the cardiologist very often. It's usually just my yearly checkups. But I have been to cardiologists in Auckland, Palmerston North and now Bristol, and the process is very similar in various hospitals. So I thought if I run through the process with you, if you've never been to a cardiology appointment before, you have at least a little bit of an idea of kind of what happens during it, so you're not as apprehensive about going to it. I mean, the fact that you have to go to a cardiology appointment is obviously a bit nerve-wracking in general, but when you don't know what's going to happen during it, it can just make it a little bit more scary. After entering the hospital, you need to find out where the cardiology appointment is going to be. Have a look on your slip. I always recommend to take your appointment slip with you, and it generally lists anything else that you may or may not need to take. If you've been referred by your GP, there's generally not too much to take. When I moved from Auckland to Bristol, I obviously had to take all my previous records. So you'll get up to the hospital and you check in with the receptionist at the department where you're meant to be. They will then make you sit and wait. First thing that generally happens once they know that you're here, is a nurse will take you away and get your current body weight and your height, just so that it's all on the records. And often they will also do your blood pressure and put a pulse ox on you to check your oxygenation to your periphery. This is kind of like an ET looking light, and you can go ooh. I quite enjoy doing that anyway. So that they're just getting basic parameters. It's nothing to worry about, it doesn't hurt, you can keep all your clothes on. After that, generally sent back out to the waiting room for the next thing to be called up. That is the second thing, which usually happens, is an ECG. So an ECG, or electrocardiogram, is when they attach these sticky dots to you and little leads, and you lie in a bed, and basically it is recording the electrical activity within your heart. Now, this is usually a tech that takes you through to do this, and they're very seen everything. Generally, because you're going to get sticky dots on your chest and that, you do need to take off your top. Some techs also require the bra to be taken off because they find it a bit easier for the cord placement. Others are a bit more not wanting to see everything, and so do just like the bra left on. So I generally just ask as soon as I get in the room, do you want my bra on, bra off? I have been having to take my top off for many years in hospital, so I'm not at all afraid to ask that, but if it's your first time, they'll generally talk you through it. As I say, I'm sure they've seen everything. So the other point that they usually put the little sticky dots on your ankles, because they need to create a bit of a triangle. So I generally will either take my socks off, or if I'm wearing stockings, take them off just so that they have access to that. These sticky dots are meant for short-term use, so they don't really hurt when taken off. They're just kind of like a gel kind of stuff, and I've never had any problems with them irritating my skin. So yeah, you lie back on a bed with these sticky dots on you, and they tell you to lie still and just breathe normally, and they take a short reading. If they're happy with it, they're like, sweet, all done, and they'll head on out so you can get dressed. And then you go back to the waiting room, waiting for the third thing in the series, which in my case is generally an echo. An echo is basically an ultrasound of a heart. Basically, you need your top half of your clothing off, and that includes your bra. And then they generally give you robes, and no one's in the room when you get undressed. But again, I'm just overly used to it, which is a bit scary. So yeah, you strip half naked, you then lie back, and they put some more sticky dots on you. These ones are a bit more adhesive this time, and I do find that they can be a bit firmer to rip off, but there's not as many as the first time. And then they get gel on the probe, and they generally do side angles, so from through here they go up through the liver and down through the thoracic inlet. Generally the ways that they can get the best thing. So it's basically just positioning and they can kind of work out what's best for you. It's a little, of all the tests so far, it's the most uncomfortable if you've never had it done before, but they generally just chat away to you. Because I was a congenital cardiac kid, they would often have movies in that playing or things on the roof to kind of distract you. I usually bring a friend along and just chat to them. I would always recommend you take someone with you to your cardiology appointment, be it a friend or relative or something, just so that they are there to take in all the information with you. You may not even want to bring them into any of these aforementioned things until you're actually talking to the cardiologist. Anyway, so echo is done, then back out to the waiting room. They generally give you stuff to wipe all the gel off. It's a bit more gross, but you can have a shower when you get home, and I generally rip the dots off at this point as well. Cool. And then the final stage generally for me at the moment is I then wait, and I am then taken through to talk to either the cardiologist themselves straight away, or I talk to the specialist nurse first so they can find out if anything else has been going on while the cardiologist has time to review the previous tests, or it's just straight into the cardiologist and they kind of review it in front of you. They often then auscultate my chest and feel my peripheral pulses, so this one is obvious, and cool as well. And often the liver is palpated, which can be a bit uncomfortable. I would recommend going to the toilet beforehand when you've got someone pushing down on your belly. You may want to pee. Yeah, and then just chat about obviously what's going on, and that is the part that I generally always make sure that there's someone in there with me, because you only get a short period of time with the cardiologist and you don't want to miss a single thing, and you don't want to forget questions. But yeah, that is generally what happens. There are other tests that can be run. With me, it's not during my general cardiology appointment. The cardiology appointment itself is pretty pain-free. It's more discomfort if you're not used to exposing your body, I suppose, but the nurses, the techs, and the cardiologists themselves are very used to seeing lots of people, and are used to different people like me who just happily just whip their shirt off versus those who are just kind of be as modest as possible. So they're definitely good at working around that, so I wouldn't be too shy. I always just wear a pretty bra so that I feel, you know, happier on the inside. And yeah, just take someone to talk with in the waiting room. These things can take time, and have someone there to listen when you're going things. If you can't have someone there, I mean, I guess you could see if they're happy with you recording it or writing down notes. Just when you're in there, it's a bit of a, oh yeah, whoa, yeah, that all seems sweet, and then you get out and you're like, oh, hang on, what did you say about this? Oh, can I do that? I can't remember. So yeah, that would be the only other thing. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm trying to get used to this new camera. I love it to bits, but it's just getting used to actually looking at the lens. You are here. I love you all. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you do want any more in the cardiology sort of banter, let me know. If you do have any questions regarding this topic, please drop them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. If you'd like any further videos like this, also let me know, because I'd be really happy to talk you through other things that you have to do during all this kind of stuff. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and hit the link. Actually, I might pop a link here to subscribe if you're new, and I hope you have a lovely day. I'll catch you next time, guys. Bye!